Another thing which I didn't share, the last one which I wanted to share, which I forgot.
Paskutinis dalykas, kuriuo nepasidalinau.
You might find this helpful, and if you do, you can search it out on the web and do some more reading on it. I use this to help my principals understand why making change in education is difficult, even at their own school level. And it's called a Stacey diagram. Stacey is an Englishman who put this concept together. You might need to write up the Lithuanian words for me. So he talks about culture, organizational culture. And on the bottom, it's about certainty. And so it goes from, at this end, it's when you are absolutely certain, when the experts are all in agreement that this is absolutely what we can be absolutely certain is the right thing to do. And on this one, it's about agreement. So it also goes from almost no agreement to everybody agreeing, even with the experts. So this is the technical side, and this is the political side. And in this corner, this is where we have all of the technicians and the experts agreeing together that this is what we should do, and there is absolute political agreement as well at the same time. And this is called the policy box. Well, this is where we have a written policy because now everyone's agreeing this is the way we're going to keep doing it because it's all agreed politically and it's all agreed technically that that's the best way to do things. This is the conservative spot in the diagram. So if we extend this one out here, this is the area of politics. To what degree are we happy that half of the people agree, or half are happy, or 3/4 are happy? It's about how politically sensitive we are.
Kiek žmonių pritarimo reikia ir kiek mums užtenka, ar kad pusė būtų sutiktų, ar kad...
So this is where the politics of distraction works.
Čia yra, kur ta išblaškymo politika...
It's got nothing to do with what technically actually works in schools.
Čia ne apie tai, kas
It's got to do with what people believe.
Čia yra susijęs su tuo, ką žmonės sugalvoja, įsitikinimais.
Small class sizes.
Maži klasių dydžiai.
If we, instead of having 28 students, if we only had 20 students, we might get better outcomes. This is where this debate occurs.
Čia yra tas debatas kažkur.
Okay. Whereas if we were to go and actually look at research on the difference between 20 and 28, we would find that it doesn't make a significant impact. But there's the political aspect and there's the technical. So this area of work in here is where we look at experts, and this is the technical. So, in my organisation, there are a significantly large number of people who've been in the organisation a long time who always like to be here. This is where they want to work, this is where they feel safe and comfortable. But it's not necessarily the most efficient place to be. Where they don't want to be is out here, in chaos, which is the opposite of policy.
Vietoj tam tikros, kaip policy išverst politika? Ne visai politika, ne?
Taisyklės kažkokios. Ne, taisyklės tai
This is the collaboration.
Yra įstatyminė bazė, kas apibrėžta ir
nu, toks aiškus pasitvirtintas veikimas, ne ta politika tokia ginčijimusi prasme, bet ta tokia tiesiog, kaip sako, tvarka gal.
So this is the collaborative creative space.
O čia yra tokia bendradarbiavimo ir kūrybinė erdvė.
So when I was talking earlier about if the way that the classroom is structured, and the control of the teacher is too rigid, they're operating here, where every parent and every director and the education department, everybody agrees that this is good, and all the technicians agree it's good too. It's only a small number of things actually to get everyone to agree. People will feel comfortable and safe to work there, but it's not necessarily where the best learning happens. What we want to do is to create a space here for teachers to collaborate. And the theory is that the most creative space is just on the edge of chaos. So this is called the Stacy diagram, if you want to do some more reading about it. And Stacy, being an Englishman, had a lot of experience in the bureaucratic system. I mean, some people would say that the biggest invention, the most significant invention that the English gave the world was not the steam engine.
Kad Britai ką davė pasauliu, daug pasako, kad
ką Britai...
Negaro mašina, ne lemputė buvo Britų pagrindinis atradimas.
That the biggest invention that the English gave the world was bureaucracy.
O biurokratija.
And this is about bureaucratic operation. Where everything has to be according to a written policy that everybody has agreed on, and which the technicians have
viskas turi būti pagal tai sutarta ir ekspertų patarimu.
And I have, in my organisation, I try to work out here and to disrupt the policy makers in order to create creative places for teachers in particular to be able to do different things in the classroom. And I'll give you a couple of examples in a moment. And government policy makers, members of my board who I have to report to, they will be constantly asking me to write a policy.
Yes, mano paties vadovai, pavyzdžiui, taryba mokyklos.
Because I know if I have to write a policy,
parašyti kažkokį,
I will have to get them to agree, and I'll have to get the technicians all to agree.
Tam, kad pasitvirtinti tai su jais ir su
which will pull me from here
kas mane nutys iki
back into my box, where it is safe. And they don't have to worry about being in the newspaper, because we're doing something that maybe some parents don't like. Our results will at least be average if we work in policies. Okay. But if you want to encourage collaboration with teachers, you can't have them collaborate here, because the policies tell them what to do. So there's no point in being.
Nes ta politika labai aiškiai išsako, ką reikia daryti.
So, you might find that useful just for getting the people in your school to think about where they are. What I do is I put this up, and then I get everyone to take a pen, and they have to put their initials where they work.
Ką aš darau mokyklose savo, tai išdalinu parkerius, žmonės turi patys pasižymėti, kur jie yra, kur jie dirba.
My compliance and risk manager,
mano
he will say,
rizikos vadovas,
he is there.
Yra šitoj vietoj.
And he writes all the policies. So that's his job. And he would say, I'm there because that's my job. And I would say, no, you're there because you're good at it, and that's how you got the job. And so people will say, well, they like to be here, just out of the box, but not too dangerous. And some of them will be up here. And then I say to them, okay, that's where you work now. Where would you like to work? And so he'll say, well, I wish I didn't have to be so political. I wish I didn't have to agree. I wish I didn't have to agree with the Department of Education. I wish I could do what I wanted. I would like to be But I still want to be effective in school.
Bet aš vis dėlto noriu būti efektyvus.
I want to be over here.
Noriu būti čia.
And so they would draw a line and say, I'm currently working here, but I would like to work there. And then if you've got a group of 5 or 10 people, you will see it will give you a picture of the culture of your organization.
Jeigu žmonės sužymės, tai labai greitai pamatai savo organizacijos kultūrą.
And it will give you a picture of where they are, where they would like to be, and the longer the lines are, the higher the level of frustration.
Kuo ilgesnės linijos, tuo didesnis yra nepasitenkinimo lygis.
So, I just wanted to share that with you because I find it a useful diagram to help people understand some of the dynamics that happen typically in school organizations which historically and traditionally are bureaucratic and hierarchical.
Kadangi mokyklos iš įpročio yra tokios biurokratinės, tai man pasirodo labai vertinga.
But this little bit of knowledge helps them, and I'll be sitting in meetings and they'll be having an argument about something, and someone will say, oh, you're just trying to drag us back into the policy box.
Ir kai mes kalbamės, tai kažkas susiginčia, tada kažkas pakelia ranką, sako, klausykit, tai čia jau bandot sukišti mus vėl atgal dėžutę.
And so then we'll have the discussion about whether we need to be in the policy box.
Turėsim diskusiją apie
When it comes to, like today when I arrived here, you told me to come inside and to go up to the main hall. Before I could even get in the door, the security lady had me. So before I could even open the door, she was standing on the other side of the door like this. And so I opened it, and I assume in Lithuanian she was saying, who are you and what are you doing here? But I couldn't get past her. In terms of the safety of students, you might want to be in the box.
Net dėl moksleivių saugumo tu kartais nori būti toj dėžutėj.
This is not bad.
Tai nėra blogai.
This is a great box. Very important to have.
Gera dėžutė, jeigu šnekam moksleivių saugumą.
But if every single one of your leadership team put themselves in this box,
Bet jeigu visi yra dėžutėj,
that might not be so good.
tai nėra labai gerai.
If all of your leadership team put themselves here, that also would not be good.
Jeigu vadovai save pažymėtų šitoj vietoj, tai irgi nebūtų gerai.
You need a balance of culture.
Kultūros balansas,
And of course,
žmonės per visą spektrą.
if no one is looking to how the school is operating in the political environment, then the school is going to suffer as a result of that as well.
Jeigu niekas
Because
nežiūri,
that's reality.
kaip vyksta dalykai su politikos susiję, tai irgi mokykla gal nežiūri.
It's just a mechanism for looking at your culture, your organizational culture, and as to where you are. And so the next time you have to employ someone into your leadership team, you might decide to look for someone who's a little bit more chaotic, if generally you're all conservative, in order to get that balance, or the other way around.
Kad balansą palaikyti, reikėtų paįvairinti.
Įsileisti chaotiškumą turbūt, arba chaotišką
Jeigu visi yra vienam kampe labai stipriai.
I know what else I haven't showed you. Just so you've got something else to take away and look at later.
That's
Very useful. I was going to give you some examples of chaotic looking ideas that might be nice interventions, just for a little bit of fun. Because schools should be fun.
Čia yra tam tikras linksmas ir smagus dalykas.
We know that when students feel safe and are having fun, they learn better.
Nes kai moksleiviams saugu ir kai jiem ten saugu ir smagu, tai jie geriau mokosi.
It applies to teachers too. If teachers feel safe for their job and they're having fun, they tend to teach better.
Jeigu mokytojai saugus ir jiem smagu, tai geriau mokosi.